Hi, I'm Deborah Roth from Spirited Living, and I'm excited to be back to offer the eighth installment in my year-long series with the Wellness Universe called What's Your JQ? Embracing Joy as a Core Life Skill. If you are watching this on YouTube and have not checked out the Wellness Universe page, website, please be sure to do that. They offer just wonderful classes, courses, workshops, you name it. And both for practitioners. If you are a wellness practitioner, it's a wonderful platform to put your work out there. And if you're looking for anything to really support you in your mind, body, spirit wholeness, definitely check out the Wellness Universe. So this month we are looking at joy and the barriers that we encounter to experiencing joy. So some of them are pretty, I'll outline them, in the vlog itself at the Wellness Universe. Also on the YouTube description, I always go into a little more detail. Let's just run through them. So some of the big ones anyway. So stress, obviously, that's a pretty clear one. And we often, when we are in a stressful place, we just fall into that fight or flight mode. And then we're not able to relax. We're not able to really access all the things that work for us. And we talked last month about brain heart coherence, and really we that goes out the window when we're under stress. And in fact, research has shown that people who are under stress are not able to access positive emotions. And so that we've got to figure out ways to really ameliorate that. And what I'm going to do is run through some of these things that prevent us, some of these barriers that prevent us from accessing joy. And then I'm going to run through some of the very clear things that you can do to take action around them, and hopefully have a moment to do and to lead you through an actual chair of joy itself, because that's a wonderful experience. So limiting beliefs is another one. Those are the things that we tell ourselves that are not necessarily facts. They're more things that we've taken on from our childhood, or ways that we have that we limit ourselves, that we say, oh, I don't have, I'm not worthy of feeling joy, or they're kind of learned behavior, or I'm not worthy of being happy. And so once you find that you're in that place, it's really that, and again, researchers have found that, psychologists have said that they're false, basically, and we want to look for ways that can kind of shift that, because they really are these invisible barriers to joy. One of the other, the next one, the third one that's a barrier for joy, is fear of vulnerability, which is an interesting one, which can also come from our emotional history and our mindset as a result of that. The researcher and author, Brene Brown, she's wonderful to tap into. She famously said, joy is the most vulnerable emotion that we can experience. And she has something that she calls vulnerable joy, where we are almost afraid, like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop if we experience joy, that we don't allow ourselves to fully embrace these joyful moments, because we're worried that we're subconsciously worried that something will happen, that we're not allowed to experience it to the fullest. So that's a tough one, and we'll talk about some resolutions for that too in a minute. Busyness, a really busy, fast-paced lifestyle where we convince ourselves that we're just too busy. I can't take time to relax, and I've got things to do, I've got projects, I've got, my kids are and my family are a priority, whatever it is. What happens over time, though, is that busyness and constant distraction really dulls your ability to savor just really simple pleasures in life. So we want to move past that. Now, environmental factors are a biggie, and those are obvious ones. If you've got family stress, either in your immediate household or in your extended family, social circles, friends, any of those kinds of things can be a barrier to feeling joy. And when that happens, you just you very easily lapse into a place of just pessimism, criticism, both of yourself, but also for others. So, how can we begin to dismantle some of these barriers? Some of these will probably be obvious to you. With the stress one, the stress as a barrier. Take micro breaks. Take really mindful micro breaks. And so literally pause for a moment or two, breathe. We were talking about doing that last month in our video on brain-heart coherence. And basically what you're doing is disrupting these racing thoughts, and you're breaking the stress cycle and reminding your brain and body what it actually feels like to relax. In terms of self-limiting beliefs, what can we do with that? Again, lots has been written about this. And the idea is to catch them as they come up and ask yourself, what's the evidence of this? Is this true? And then create a more nurturing statement to kind of stop that train of thought in its tracks. Practicing courageous joy is a way that's to address the next one, which is the vulnerability, the fear of vulnerability. Again, Brene Brown talks about gratitude being a really wonderful antidote for foreboding joy, to this fear of vulnerability, because it reminds us, that the attitude of gratitude reminds us and affirms that joy is real and it's deserved. And when you feel joy coming in, that's when you want to, again, stop it in its tracks, just like a self-limiting belief, and say, this is a moment of joy. Declare it, own it, know that you deserve it. And so both of these, both catching self-limiting beliefs, catching that fear, that foreboding joy impulse that can come in, is really a way for you to reduce the fear of especially for foreboding joy that's going to be snatched away, and waiting for the other shoe to drop. So the last one, busyness. Let's look at busyness. Again, a very common coachy way to address busyness is, and I've been doing this with my coaching clients for 30 years, is to prioritize and set boundaries, to really carve out time in the day that's you time, and put it in your calendar. If someone asks if they can schedule an appointment with you, say, I'm booked then. They don't need to know that you're booked with yourself, or to read with your kids, or to do something that just is for you, to take a 5-minute walk break, whatever that looks like. And then finally, the last one is, with all of these, this is kind of a culmination, with all of these practices, see if you can find a joy partner. I was about to say prayer partner. I think prayer is a joy is a type of prayer when we make a really intentional practice around it, and share. So it's someone that you can meet with regularly to share positive, uplifting moments, to share to do a chair of joy with, and to talk about what the experience was, what moment came up for you. And in fact, I encourage you to do that in the video. Right now, I'm going to give you just a very super short chair of joy moment, and write down what comes out of that. Let's do that before I run out of time. Try to keep these around 10, 11 minutes. So, I just threw a lot of information at you. So let's settle into your seats and just imagine yourself sitting in a favorite chair. Could be a chair that you sit in for work. If you love what you do, could be a rocking chair where you've rocked your kids or your grandkids. Or could be under a tree. One of my chairs is always under a tree. And then just breathe. We know the power of breathing. We know that it calms our nervous system. Just take a few deep breaths, and then let bubble up, just unbidden, whatever comes up for you, a moment of joy, a memory of joy. It could have happened this morning or last week, or even from your childhood. Don't question it. And feel it, taste it, smell it, really experience it again, viscerally. Activate all your senses, create that environment, recreate that moment, as best as you can. And then as you do that, begin to identify under that joy umbrella of that moment, what are some of the feelings that are coming up for you? Gratitude is often one. Awe, excitement, delight, quietude, whatever the experience is, whatever you take, whatever feelings, and then imagine those feelings literally starting from the tips of your toes and filling your body like your body's being filled up like a big drink of joy, a big wave of joy, so that your whole body is tingling with all of the emotions associated with joy. And sit in that for a moment. And then when you're ready, come on back and jot down what came up for you. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy experimenting with some of these practices to eliminate, to move through some of these barriers for joy. Some or all of them may resonate with you, and I'd love to hear how your neural pathways are being gently, beautifully enjoyed as you begin to make this concerted practice of joy. Bye for now.